Hey guys, welcome to part 8 of the Path of Exile Compendium. We're back in Act 2, and let's just dig right in. Now, this is an item that's generally very good for DPS. So, what items you want to look for is that +1 level of Socketed Gems are generally your best DPS stat. And then the next one would be, depending on your build, would be like damage multiplier or anything like that, or crit strike multiplier or anything like that as well. That would be your next best. Obviously, I gotta say right now, we don't do fire spells. So this stuff isn't really good for us, but it's just something to highlight as well of what DPS stats you're trying to look for. Now you may notice items called superior items. What superior items are is that they've already got a quality addition to it. Now, there's no additional elements of what they have, so you're not really required to pick them up. Generally speaking, because quality doesn't matter too much, because it only increases the attack. It doesn't increase any of the secondary stats are given. However, if you're a different build where your weapon matters, quality is definitely one thing you should look at. The only thing quality affects is your chances of randomly increasing the gem sockets in an item, or the link percentage as well. It's got some weird calculation behind it. The higher quality an item, the easier it is to upgrade. It increases gem sockets and increases links. So this may be your first indication of a shrine. So a shrine just right here has given me an AoE Frost Nova debuff. So with a shrine, you're going to find these occasionally, probably rarely at the start. Later on, you'll find them quite commonly, and they have different sort of benefits they will provide to you. And essentially what these benefits will provide to you will allow you to basically have AoE ice, make you live longer, and possible higher defenses and whatnot. And that's pretty much what you'll be basically using these shrines for. Now, some of these shrine effects can be very powerful depending on the build, or can be really crap depending on the build. Now, we've also discovered the crossroads as well. We're not going to the crossroads yet. The crossroads is going to be to the next zone. We're trying to get the Great White Beast done, so we're trying to find the other exit, which is generally off-road. The crossroads are always on-road, and the other exits are always off-road. Just a little bit of a hint, or anything like that, if you wanted to know. So now we've found the den, and we're just going to go in there as well to get the den done. We killed a few mobs before we got in, which is good, extra bit of bonus. So now with the den, we've got to find the Great White Beast. And, well, the Great White Beast is pretty deep in his den, okay? And you can only guess that the Great White Beast is indeed, yep, it's going to be a bear. So we happily found the Great White Beast, okay? Which we're just going to zap with Arc all day while kiting it around for Stormcall. Now, just an FYI, you may not want to get as close as I am getting to the mob. I'm just doing something very risky, and I know I've got the health pots to just regen it back up. But anyway, we've taken down the Great White Beast. We've got a few items here and there. We've actually got a pretty decent soldier's helm that I'm just going to put on potentially as well. So, one thing in particular to watch out for is Chaos Resist, but not yet. But Chaos Resist is actually very hard to get. So, just going to put that on there. And we've got a bit more armor, and we can put our Clarity on there as well. Remember, anytime you turn off an aura, you have to reactivate it. And also, anytime that you die, you have to return on all your auras. So, just make sure you see that as well. In general, if you don't see any of these things swirling around you, just assume that your auras are off. So now, this is actually funnily enough, it's not like the ship graveyard where basically you are ported back to the entrance. No, you're ported just a little bit to the crossroads. And we're going to just head to the crossroads right away to do the rest of the quest. We're going to do that right away because we don't have much in our inventory to really vendor back. So I want to just go to the crossroads for the meantime. Now, the thing is, we can go to two areas, which will be these two areas here. And that's what we'll be basically dealing with. So going to either this area or this area. Doesn't really matter too much, but what I'm going to be doing is we're probably going to be going to the Bandit Lord Illyria to finish that off. And then go to the Intruders of Black. It doesn't really matter which one we do. I actually prefer doing Intruders in Black first. Because Intruders of Black does lead to a longer dungeon. But the main thing is we're going to get here is the waypoint. Okay? Because we're obviously going to have to backtrack through the waypoint in order to get back to this area if needed. Okay, I'm just going to say it now. On my first character, I did not get the waypoints this easy compared to what I've, done previously, okay? I only have walked like a few steps and I've got the waypoints. It's just absolutely crazy at this moment. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous. I found another shrine as well. I don't know. I'm getting ridiculously lucky at this point because I gotta say right now, I don't get this lucky even on my main. On my main, I only saw one shrine the entire run, okay, on my main. One shrine, okay, and that was in Act 2. I don't know, I think my previous run's cursed. I think my other character is cursed. That's why I'm going to put it down to at this stage. Now, I have said this before. I'm always going to be leveling up these blue gems. The main reason I'm going to be leveling up all these blue gems right away is that these blue gems only need intellect and levels. And as a witch, you are pure intellect class, and you'll always have enough int to keep leveling up your gems. However, when a green or a red gem gets leveled up, I'm very cautious because I may not have enough dexterity if I take it for a piece of gear to level it up. So I've got to be very, very careful when leveling any green or red gem on this character. If you are, like, you know, a marauder or a ranger or anything like that, you got to be careful with the blue gem as well to make sure you don't level up too much, because if you take a piece of gear off, your entire combo could break, and you would have to, you know, try to get int here and there basically to try and fix your build. This is more trying to avoid it as per se. Now, as I said before, I found the Chamber of Sin. Now, I've just got to double check if I found the Crossroads waypoint. Yes, I did. And we're going to go into the Chamber of Sin. So with this one in particular, you're going to try and find what the Blackguards are doing here and what they are looking for. And we're going to go through this way to just try and find it quickly. Now with this dungeon, be aware that the aberrations drop caustic shit on the ground. So you are going to get damage if you walk across it. Just make sure you blink across it and make sure just they don't die anywhere near you, basically. Now remember one thing as well, if you ever get a linked blue, red, and green, to loot it, because you can vendor it for a chromatic orb a bit later. Chromatic orbs can be a bit hard to find, but they also help out as well. Like if you get a really good armor piece and you want to put it to certain gems, you want to pick this one up. Now you may wonder, why do people put like arc with a main ability or a guard ability on left click instead of right click? It's basically what happens if you left click a mob, you'll use your wand rather than arc, and you'll always be wanting to use arc rather than your wand. I'll show you a quick example here when we, funnily enough, find a mob that is, of like the difference between it basically. So we'll just open up this mob here. So if I left click, I use my wand, but if I right click, I use the arc, which I want to use. Also, as you can see here, we got a Grand Life Flask, another upgrade. So you can see here how quickly you upgrade your potions, and this will slow down later out through the game as well. Now, if you need a strength one as well, the Amber Amulet is always strength, so make sure you pick up that as well. So I completely forgot about as well. Did you notice here that there's a Lord Labyrinth? I didn't, but very, very important to notice, okay? So you have to do another Trial of Ascendancy. Now, I'm going to say right now, doing Trial of Ascendancy as a witch is, yeah. You can see here how you can die very easily. Be very, very aware to make sure you don't die easily on this one, okay? So you're going to be doing these puzzles. Normally what you can do is you can just blink over it. So remember, you can use your travel skills. And that's what I just recommend you doing. Or alternatively, if your build just can soak it, just soak it. My main build, like the reason why, if you saw me earlier, why I ran over it is because my main build can run over it. Now, after you do it, you just click the plaque and then you can get out of here. This guy's pretty easy to kill, but Ark is doing so much damage that he's probably going to die very quickly. So basically, we meet Piety there, basically. And we find Helena down here as well.
That thing, it slaughtered everyone. Help me.
So Helena is another quest giver that you need to save her from down here. So basically, you are too late. They've already found everything. So pretty much you got to deal with Fidelius, and you get a transmuted device that you have to take care of, basically. Enjoy, have fun. So Fidelius is pretty easy to deal with. At this point, you should have some really good gear. If you're playing the harder difficulties, maybe it's a bit harder, but just basically dance around him. You should only get hit by the lightning attack maybe once or twice, it depends really. But overall, he's pretty easy to deal with, and you'll get this strange device, which has a baleful gem in it. You can use some of these as well, but they're probably not too much. Then you want to go back to Helena to free her, basically. And she'll basically tell you what happened. So at this point, since we've got a bit in our inventory, we are going to exit and go back in, because the map would have reset by this point, so it doesn't really matter. Now, we're going to hand this back in to Yena, and she's going to give us some stuff that we can use. So here at the moment, I would say overall, look at what your build requires, and our build requires a heavy belt, so you want to go for this heavy belt here. The main reason why I want a heavy belt is because a heavy belt has strength on it. Now, these guys will tell you to find a golden hand in the crypt, and you do need to go in that crypt because they have. Now, be aware, we put that belt on, as you can see here, we can now upgrade Vitality. Remember this, if you take that belt off, you can't use Vitality any further. Now, there's another one here. You get another one to recover Maligro's Spike from the chamber to travel to the Weaver's Chambers. So you can see you get all of these side quests to go to different areas. We're going to wait to kill that last bandit before we return here, because we can just use the waypoint and get back. The other ones, well, we haven't got anything else yet to deal with. So here you can get a new one. So in particular, there's one thing that we want to get. I think I missed it, which is Herald of Thunder. Herald of Thunder is another aura that we want to utilize. So Herald of Thunder, we can probably put on any of these blue gems here and utilize it. Herald of Thunder is another aura type, and it, instead of a amount of mana, it basically uses a percentage of mana to reserve. So we're going to see how much we can reserve. So what Herald of Thunder does is that basically it zaps the crap out of anyone near you. At this point, I completely forgot to do something. So we can use the waypoint to go back. We're going to go to Yena. So now Yena is going to have some gems that we can purchase. So you can see here, there's some gems that you could have gotten other dudes, but you didn't. Now, in particular, we're going to get this one, Summon Skitterbot, and put that in. So Skitterbots we do need, because Skitterbots, what Skitterbots do is that it chills and hits mobs that are very, you need to hit. Now, another one, if you're a Righteous Fire build, you get Righteous Fire. You want to purchase this as well. Very, very important. But everything else we don't have to really do. Now, Skitterbots is another aura, and Skitterbots cost a percentage of mana. Now, it might be possible that we may have to drop Vitality or Clarity at this stage, but we'll see if we have to or not. But I'm very sure that we may. No, we're going to have to drop one of these. I'm going to say we most likely want to drop basically Vitality at this stage to have enough mana to use Arc, because Arc costs 12 mana, and I believe Stormcall costs 8. I guess it depends on our mana regen if we can get away with it. Just be aware of all these like auras and stuff like that. You can't have all of them on, because otherwise you're not going to have enough mana to spam your abilities. We've got to the Broken Bridge, which is going to be the next area we're going to deal with. We're going to deal with the bandit there to finish Alira's quest chain. Now, we've found the last bandit. The last bandit, you actually want to follow the road. His area is at the end of everything, basically, at the end of everything, and you just want to find that pretty quickly. And also, once again, we find the waypoint exceedingly quickly. I have never found waypoints this quickly, ever, in any of my runs. So one indication of where the bandit camp is here, basically. If you see a bridge like this, this is where Kratil is going to be. Now, if you're watching this after playing Act 7, you're going to find this little place quite familiar, okay? You're going to find this place quite familiar. Now, as you can see here for Kraton, Kraton's actually one of the weakest, okay? Because none of these are really any that good, because you can get this anywhere, you can get this anywhere, and also 10% chance is not good because you want 100% chance, and 6% increased movement speed is pretty meh, considering you can get 30% later on. So you want to kill him. So we're going to kill Kraton, and since we've got obviously Herald of Thunder, it is going to be pretty easy because every single ad is going to get zapped to death. This is why Herald of Thunder is really, really strong, because you can just basically zap the crap out of him, and yeah. And you can just spam Mark all day as well, because you got a mixture of clarity and mana regen stuff as well. And he dies. Womp womp womp. I'm here twice during the act, but we're just going to pull back, vendor our stuff, and then go back there. Now at this point, we can use the waypoint to get back to the crossroads, and we're going to find the extra exits to get to the crypt and complete the crypt. And then we won't need to come back to this area at all. And if we do need to come back to the area, we've got the relevant waypoints to come back to the area. That's the main thing that I'm trying to aim for. Now, fortunately, we found the Fellshrine runes very quickly, and we're going to try and find a dungeon in here very quickly. Now, if you ever see a red skull mark like you see here, this means it's an Einhar area. So after you kill this mob, Einhar will pop out and capture this creature. Now, these red mobs do a fuck ton of damage, so be aware of it as well to make sure you don't get hit by them. And because they will have multiple different enchants that they have on them. So you can hear like Huddle Dive, Crushing Claws. That means they'll do extra moves, essentially. So, Einhar will come out. Einhar is an advanced version of Vitality, so you won't need Vitality too much. Just make sure you dodge the things that attack you. Okay, that's the main thing you want to do here, is just dodge everything that attacks you. So, the ability that it has is that it will channel a boss ability. And Einhar as well will also capture a beast for you. And also you can unlock new recipes as well, depending on the beast and what it does. So funnily enough, after about 10 minutes, I found the crypt. So we're going to go through the crypt. So just in case it wasn't obvious enough, crypt has 2 levels. Yep, yeah, just in case you might go, oh, you know, so crypt level 1, does it only have 1 level? No, it has 2 levels. And this is where the dungeons start to get a bit longer, okay? You may have noticed that it took a bit longer, or maybe not, because you just get the edit or jump cut in, basically. But it takes basically about, you know, it starts taking from like, you know, basically 2 or 3 minutes to go for a dungeon to about 5 minutes. And it'll just only keep going longer and longer as we go along. So we get to the golden hand. So basically when you take the golden hand, actually when you get close to the golden hand, the boss will activate, which you just need to basically avoid him. Obviously, if he's big and bulky, he's definitely 100% going to be doing some big damage. So just stay away from him, and he dies pretty crucially, and then he kills Necromancer Buddy, and then you'll get the golden hand. Now once you get the golden hand, you can obviously log in, log out to get back to town. So we quickly log back in. Yina, please give us something good. Let's see what Yina will give us. Yina will give us 2 passive respect points. Still, there's a reason to do it. Anyways, that's going to be it, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, and see you guys later.